There are places that seem too cheap to be true. Not because they lack value, but because something buried deep within them should never be awakened. Some things, once disturbed, will never return to silence. Howl and his wife Naguyat had finally saved enough to buy a small plot of land on the edge of a quiet village. The price was unbelievably low, but the seller offered no clear reason. It's been empty for years, he simply said. That was all. They moved in with excitement, planning their future together. But on the day the construction crew began digging the foundation, their tools struck something unusual. It wasn't rock. It was wood, old, decayed. A coffin. Inside were human bones, bound tightly with red thread. At the bottom lay a faded talisman, its ancient characters barely visible. The image of a bound figure smeared in something that looked disturbingly like dried blood. The workers panicked and fled. But Howl shrugged it off. Probably just an illegal burial, he said. We'll burn some incense, rebury it, and move on. And so, they did. That night, at exactly 12:13 a.m., the neighbor's dog began howling. It wasn't barking, it was long, painful howls, directed at one corner of their home, the same spot where the coffin had been found. Naguyat woke up in a cold sweat. She heard something tapping on the window, tap, tap, tap. When she drew back the curtain, there was no one there, but on the glass were 5 pale fingerprints, small and damp, as if left by a woman's hand. From that night on, the haunting grew stronger. The dog howled every night at the exact same time. The lights flickered for no reason. The wind blew through locked doors. The house felt colder, damper, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. Naguyat once felt something breathing behind her neck while doing the dishes. She turned, but saw no one. In the sink, however, floated a thick clump of long black hair. She had short hair. Howl, too, began seeing things. In his dreams, a woman in white walked barefoot through the house, her dress soaked in mud, her hair dragging behind her like a shadow. She would stand at the foot of his bed and whisper, "Why did you take my place?" Terrified, they called for a spiritual master. He stepped into the yard, stood still for a moment, and then turned pale. "This isn't just one spirit," he said. "You've disturbed something ancient. You've broken the seal." A few nights later, the dog disappeared. At 12:13 a.m., the front door creaked open on its own. There was no wind, no reason. On the floor were wet footprints, small, fragile, walking slowly into the bedroom. The next morning, they found the dog's lifeless body at the gate. Its eyes were wide open, its tongue black, and its mouth filled with dirt. After that, the house began to rot from the inside. The tiles oozed with red stains. The air grew colder. Clothes hung to dry became soaked with a stench no one could explain. The TV turned on at midnight. The lights flickered even when the power was fine. Then, one night, the couple vanished, gone without a trace. No note, no goodbye, only the house remained, quiet, but not empty. Villagers say that every night, at 12:13 a.m., you can still hear the dog howling, the woman crying, and someone, knocking at the door. But when you open it, there's no one there.